Hey y'all, how you doing today? Ooh, I am doing good. I ain't too hot to try. Before we get started, I just want you guys to know that I love you and I appreciate all your support. If you could share this in a group, share this in somebody's timeline. Today we're gonna be talking about men, and I know y'all want to hear about this. Okay, if you're a man, we're not gonna bash you. We just need some understanding. What is it? What I need from you is understanding. I'll be sharing this into the baby group, Becoming a Better You ministry, a little later on after I get off this live, because I was trying to do it, but I can't do it. So what are we finna talk about men about? First of all, if you haven't also, I provided a link above that you can click on to go to my website, to the marriage tab, and download the free love language test. Okay. I think that it's very important for you to know your love language. I think it's very important for you to know anything about yourself. What I've learned is that people, we take the time, the energy, and the effort to study everything. You'll go back to school, you'll get a certificate in plumbing. You'll go become a medical office assistant. You will learn a new craft. You'll go on YouTube to figure out how to groom dogs. We put forth effort to do everything except for the one thing that's one of the most importantest things that you can ever do for a woman, man. Listen, bring me your ear. Bring me your ear. The most important thing that you could ever do for a woman is to listen and to communicate. Not just communicate, communicate effectively. Okay? Can I get some hearts? Can I get some amens? Can I get 1 or 2 shares? Now, if Mr. Love abruptly busts in here with my robe on, take it as love, okay? But what women need most from their husbands, their fiancés, their boyfriends is communication. Proper communication. Let me say it again. Can you agree with me, women? I'm sharing this on my business page and my personal page. My personal page, let me click on it right now to see if y'all agreeing with your girl. Let me click on it real quick to see if some of the comments coming in on that. But what we need most is communication. Not just communication, but effectively communicating with us. Number 1, if you go on my page about marriage, I listed a couple books that have been detrimental to my growth as a woman and as a wife. Number 1, my favorite book ever is Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Like Spaghetti. This book was groundbreaking in the fact that it taught me and it opened up my mind, and it resonated that men were created differently from us, and God created women a certain type of way. Everybody is different, but the geneticness of us, like the aura of us, is pretty much the same. We are very community, majority of us. Now, you do have other women that's we consider antisocial, but she's still community. She still likes to talk with her sisters. She likes to go out to eat. We're very relational. So when you get in a relationship with somebody, you get married to somebody, you still want your spouse to be relational with you. You want to have somebody that you can talk to, that you can laugh with, because a lot of time during the courting stage, this is how it is. You talking to that person all the time on the phone. Y'all laughing. You telling me your deepest, darkest secret. You telling me how your day went. Blah, 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 blah. But when you get married, it seems as if those things stop. But it never stops with a woman. We are communicators. That's just how God made us. It's not that we're messy. It's not that we always talking. You're always talking, or we always got something to say. No, God just created us a little more chatty than he did you guys. So that book, Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Like Spaghetti, really, really helped me to understand that God just made man different. The gist of the book is that a man is like a waffle. And I really wish I had Purpose's poppet thing to show you what a waffle look like. But I'm gonna just get my wristlet because it's kind of bumpy right here. And you see all these little bumps, little grooves, little squares. In the book, it teaches you that men compartmentalize things and put things in boxes. They put things in boxes, different boxes. They put everything in boxes. Whereas a woman, we don't put things in boxes. We're like a plate of spaghetti. And everything in our life touches, like noodles. That's why we can have 2 or 3 conversations at one time. Good morning, prophetess. We have 2 or 3 conversations at one time. We can flow from talking about frying chicken to dissecting a frog to what we learned at Bible study and what movie we want to see in the next 5 minutes. We can do all that at one time. We can cook, clean, wash dishes, do hair, do all of these things, and we don't have to have a break in between because God created us like a bowl of spaghetti noodles. Everything that we do, it touches. It just runs together. I remember my husband said, now how you was just talking about such and such, and now you over there talking about this. How you went from one thing to the other? Because I'm like a bowl of spaghetti noodles. That's just how God created woman. We flow like noodles. Everything that's in our life, it touches. It runs together. Whereas, again, ladies, men are like waffles. They're like, I wish I had a waffle, but this is the best description. See those little squares? They put everything in little squares. Okay. And the difficult things that they cannot accomplish, the difficult things that they can't solve, because God created them as hunters and he created them as problem solvers. So they try to solve our problems. If it's something they don't feel like they can solve in one of these boxes, they'll just put the lid on that box and then they'll go on to something else. For example, if you're married, you're in a relationship and you become frustrated, because women, a lot of times, because we're so, we like to communicate, we like to talk it out. That's why we have girlfriends. That's why we can go sit down for brunch. You don't know too many men that just want to go sit down with another man and sit down for brunch. No, they don't want to fix stuff. But we can sit down and we can just talk about it. Let's talk about it. And it's agitating to a man because they don't understand that we're a plate of noodles. So if we become too much for them, if we become too fussy, if we become too overbearing and they're not understanding what's on your plate, they'll just put a lid on top of your box because they feel like they can't solve the problem. It's bigger than them. It's above them and ain't nothing they can do with it. So they're going to put a lid in it and put it under the bed and they're going to go on to something else that they know that they can handle. That's how God created them. They compartmentalize things in their life versus us. We're going to try to fix everything on the plate because everything runs together. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times, our men are having a problem with us because they put us underneath the bed and they put a lid on top of us. So what I'm just saying is, I would like for husbands, okay, fiancés, boyfriends, I want you to take the time to take your wife, your girlfriend, your fiancé out of the box. Pull the box back out and pull the lid off of her box and try to understand her as a plate of noodles. Is that too hard? Is it too hard? It's not too hard. The way God created us, women are the most, naturally, we're the most forgiving beings on this earth. We just naturally forgive. We naturally, I could say that a woman naturally walks in love covers a multitude of sin, because you can be done beat us upside the head and pour hot water on us, especially if you got our heart, and we'll still try to be like, well, let's make it work. Even though we're in the shower crying, we washing dishes crying, we complain about it or whatever, we'll still try to put forth an effort to make it work. But what we need in this season is our men to stand up, take the lid off the boxes, and let's try it again. I'm drinking coffee on that. A lot of the problem in our relationships and in our marriages is men just don't want to try again. You get complacent that, okay, you label us. Instead of understanding us as a plate of noodles, you label us as naggers. You label us, we talk too much. You label us as taking our talking as gossiping. And we're not gossiping, baby. We're just spilling tea. We're just talking about what we're talking about. Because if I can't talk to you, I'm going to talk to my friend. Because God created me like this. I got to talk. I got to talk. This is how God genetically made me. I got to talk. It's in the book. The book is called Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti. And that's my favorite book. I read it 23 years ago. And once a year, I try to reread it because it's funny, but it's right and it's good. And it just helps us to understand our spouses as a whole. Let me go back to it, men. It's not that we're being petty. It's not that we're being messy. It's not that we're being naggers. The only way we know how to solve problems as a woman is by talking. We don't fight. Well, you know, some of us do fight, you know. But God didn't create us to be hunters. We're thinkers. We're problem solvers. Our sides of the brain works together. Whereas a man, only one side of his brain works at one time. But God created us to where both sides of our brains is working at the same time. So that's why we're able to multitask and do things the way that we do. So let me go back to it. If you're having an issue right now with your spouse, husband, if you're having an issue right now with your wife, the best way for you to solve that problem is communication. Again, we will Google, we will go take classes, we'll get certificates for everything except for communication. When I was working at Decatur Grady Head Start, I didn't know that by me answering the phone, like, I'm doing like this, like, Decatur Grady Head Start, that's what it was sounding like to the people on the other end. That's not meant to a communication class. And the lady said that when you smile and you answer the phone, it makes your voice change. So I got an attitude, but I'm saying Decatur Grady Head Start, it just automatically changed the tone and the mood of the person on the other end. They sent me to a class to get a certificate of how to communicate. You can go to YouTube, husbands. You can go to Google when you sit on the toilet stool. Instead of looking at TikTok, you can go listen to Dr. R.C. Blake, Stephen Talks, or somebody to help you sharpen your tools. Everybody needs to sharpen their tools. If you got to get a recertification on your job, you need a recertification on communication. You just do. Okay. If you got to, if certificates expire, what make you think that things that's in your marriage don't expire and don't need an upgrade or don't need no fine tuning? Everything need fine tuning. We out here getting BBLs, but you don't know how to communicate. We out here getting our hair did. You can explain to the hairdresser, I want a side scoop, I want zigzags on the side, and I want it swooped on this side, but you can't communicate. Like, you got to make it make sense. You got to make it make sense. You got to make a conscious effort to learn how to do anything that you don't know how to do. And there's no excuse. There's too much knowledge. There's too much technologies. There's too many examples. You just got to put forth the effort. Again, husbands, you got to go back underneath your bed. You got to take your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance out of the box, and you got to try again. Fiancés, wife, girlfriends, we also got to be receptive to change. One of the common mistakes that is made when you're trying to change is you don't let the other person kind of like know. I mean, you ain't got to make no big speech on, today I'm waking up and I'm changing. But when you start doing something that's outside of the norm, it kind of looks weird and it feels weird. Just think about it, women. If you have ever been through having an affair, or somebody broke some trust, somebody took your money, something that broke some trust. So when you're trying to relearn how to trust that person again, Anything that they do outside of what you consider is normal, it kind of throw you off. You like, your spirit kind of jiggly, like, okay, what you doing? What you doing that for? What you doing that for? So when you get ready to start working on yourself and working on your relationship, we kind of need to kind of sit down and talk about it, so that I won't think that you trying to be funny, you trying to get one up on me or nothing like that. But if we sit down and we talk about it, and I know, okay, he working on a relationship, then I'm going to be more susceptible to the things that you're doing, and I'm not going to be suspicious, okay? Is this making sense? Or do it just sound like I'm just rattling on? Help me out. Hey, Erica, how you doing? Do this make sense to anybody? Does it make sense? I'm trying to help our husbands out based on the book, Men Are Like Waffles and Women Like Spaghetti, and I'm explaining to them, sisters, that God created us to talk out our problems. That's just how we made. That's how we made. That's why we have girlfriends. That's why we have sister time. That's why a woman can stay on the phone for 6 hours talking to one person, and there's never a dull moment, and we always have something to say, because this is how God created us. On the other note, God didn't create them like that. He created them to be problem solvers, and that's okay. But to work in perfect harmony with your spouse, she gonna have to realize that you compartmentalize things, and you're gonna have to realize that she's a plate of spaghetti and everything in her life touches and it runs together. Okay? There's another book that I absolutely love. It's like Learning Your Spouse 5 Love Language. And if you click on the link above, you can go to my website and you can download the free test, because everybody wants to be loved in a particular way. I was sharing this with my girlfriend yesterday. Majority of the times, the way that you are, the way that you do for people, the way that you pour out to people, it shows how you want to be loved. And I just kind of feel like we're all grown and we're all mature, and that at some point, nobody should have to guess how it is that you want to be loved. I think you should tell them. Let's just take the pressure off of the other person and just start telling people the truth. This is what I like. This is what I want you to do. This is what made me feel safe. This is what made me feel supported when you do these type of things. Go as far as giving examples. I mean, I tell my husband when we first got together, the example that I'm going to use is he had washed some clothes. I do not like washing clothes. That's like my pet peeve. But he had went and washed some clothes, and he had came home, and he said, well, I thought you would have took the clothes out of the washing machine, but you didn't tell me. Don't ever assume that I'm going to do something that you didn't tell me to do, because I love you, but I'm not walking around all day thinking about, now what would he want me to do? No. If you give me a list of things to do, then I have an option to do it. Then you can get mad that I didn't do it. But if you didn't come out your mouth and say, this is what I need you to do, I got like a million things on this plate of spaghettis, and put your clothes in the dryer. You ain't say nothing about that. I mean, when I'm spaghetti the gadget, make it make sense. I'm not doing that. So we just got to be more vocal. Yeah, don't assume. We can't assume anything. You just got to be upfront and do follow-ups. I do a monthly follow-up. My husband said, why are you asking me that? Am I a good wife? I'm a good wife to you? Okay. What you think that I could do better this month? Okay. Because it's more to being married than having sex, which I love with my husband. That's TMI, but still, it's more to it than that. It's just more to it than that. Yeah, you got to follow up. I ask him all the time, and he'll ask me, am I being a good husband? Am I talking to you enough? And I'll be like, yeah, but see, last month, you didn't give me enough compliments. I need you to be a little more detailed. Like, you see my eyebrows. Now, you can look at them and be like, babe, one of your eyebrows off. Just the way you noticed that one of my eyebrows was off, I'm going to need you to be in the morning like, girl, you did them eyebrows. Can't nobody do eyebrows like you. I'm going to need you to, just as well as you can give me a critique, I need a compliment. Compliment and critique, they go hand in hand, because that's my love language. Your love language may be different from mine, but I like to be told that from him Because other people say it all the time, that I like to hear it from him. And I like to acknowledge when I cook something. I need you to act like you at Pauline restaurant. Like, I need you to be, give me some more compliments. And he do. Simple as that. Whatever our problem is for that month, we try to make sure we don't have the problem that next month. And then we follow up on a Sunday night, end of the month. So how did I do this month? Do I do better? Yeah, you did better this month. Okay. How did I do? Yeah, you did better, but I need you. His problem with me is, okay, listen. I already told you before you married me that I've been struggling since the 3rd grade with keeping my closet clean. I told you this. I ain't got no eyebrows. And my closet is going to be nasty. But he is a neat freak. So I had to go deep down inside and learn how to keep my closet clean. And it's a struggle. And the struggle be real. But guess what? I make a conscious effort to clean the closet. I hate cleaning the closet. But for him, this is the sacrifice now. I don't want to clean the closet. But because I know that's agitating to him, and it's going to agitate his spirit, I clean the closet. I might do it 5 minutes before he come home, but I'm going to make sure I straighten up the closet because he spazzed out about the closet. Like, boy, find you something to do. I got time to keep cleaning that closet. I told you this. But that's because I told him that was a problem that he was going to have to deal with. Don't mean that's not a problem that I need to fix. Do you see what I'm saying? I need to fix my problems that agitate him just as well he need to fix the problem that agitate me. What agitate me? When you go in the kitchen and you sit down at that table and you get up from the table and you leave your chair back like that. Why I got to keep telling you to push your chair, your chair? Just as much as I'm making a conscious effort to keep that closet clean, push that table, that chair up underneath that table. You see what I'm saying? It just be little stuff. But in the little stuff, I'm learning how to redirect my spirit when there is a critique, and I don't get offended easily when you're critiquing something that you don't like about me, because you're not going anywhere. I'm not finna get married again. This it. You said I'm your first and only. You my third and lastly. We ain't doing this no more. So we just got to work it out. Okay? And that's what we do. We take it a day at a time. We keep an open line of communication. And I learned how to, when there's a problem, my husband has a problem with me, I literally have to do like this to keep me from something. But, and I'm going to give you about 10, 15 minutes before I blurt in. And I don't try to counteract it. Well, you did this. I just try to do better. I give my input on it. If I wasn't trying to be that way, I explain I was not trying to be that way. Or whatever it is. And then I just try to redirect the negative behavior that he's saying. It's kind of like your supervisor. If your supervisor got the authority to come behind you to my, you didn't clean that bathroom, and you ain't try to throw them in the trash can because you know you need your money. I need my honey. So if he's giving me a critique, I'm going to take the critique. Okay? But let me go back to the men. You guys got to be more empathetic when it comes to your spouses, especially if there has been infidelity. Infidelity is a horse of a whole nother color. It changes who we are. For a split second, it changes who we are, because God created us to be loving, kind, caring creatures. We're forgiving. But forgiveness don't mean that I didn't forget. And it does not mean that there's a time limit on the rebuild. They're building a new school right now for Bainbridge High School, for the middle school. And it's going to take some time to build. It's going to take some time to build. They say by the time Purpose getting in the 6th grade, she's going to the 4th grade, that the school will be done. Okay? Do you see how long it take to build the school? They had to do the ground. They had to do all this extra stuff. So if you have stepped out on your marriage and you guys are trying to rework it out, you got to rebuild. And that's going to take some time. You got to rebuild. You just can't rebuild for a week and then think that, okay, you get back in there, you good. You can't do that. You got to give your wife time to heal. You got to give her time to talk about it. You got to give her time to ask questions about it. You got to be open. You got to be honest. And she has to see a different pattern in you. I love saying this. Anything you do consecutively for 21 days becomes a habit. So for the next 21 days, 2 years, you're going to be under strict observation. I mean, we can't change that. It just is what it is. Ain't nobody trying to hell hike you out your life, but you got to be proven that you ain't going to do this no more. I just can't trust your word. Oh, I ain't going to do it no more. Then every time your phone rang, you are there like, what? No, we're not doing that. Give me the phone. Because now you're doing stuff. And you making me feel a certain type of way with you with that cell phone. Okay? Rebuilding takes time. It takes effort. A lot of effort. A lot of effort. And it does not mean that every day as a wife, because your spouse hurt you, that you're supposed to get up and nail him to the cross every day. No, we're not doing that. We're not re-nailing. Go put the nails, take the nails out of the hand. Go put some antiseptic on it. Yes, rebuild. Put some antiseptic on it. And let's move on. We're moving on. We have not forgotten that you were nailed to the cross. And every time that person does something, does not give you the right to go pull out your nails this long and nail them back to the cross. You got to have mercy, goodness, kindness, long suffering, because it's for better or worse, for sickness or health, to death do us part. Okay? Coming from the lady that's married 3 times. It is what it is. Okay? It's to death do us part. So, I said all that to say, if you have not checked out his book, let me go to my website to tell y'all the name of the book. The authors of the book is Bill and Pam Farley. Men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. I would just tell everybody to, if you're having issues, to read that book. And also don't forget to buy my book, There's Power When a Wife Prays, to encourage you and maybe give you a blueprint of how to be patient and waiting for the change to occur in your spouse. But in that book, that was a groundbreaking book for me. Men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. It was groundbreaking because it helped me to understand God just made him different. God just made me different. Like, I know that sounds simple, but it was so revelatory. Like, okay, we different. That's why I talk all the time. That's why I need to be on the phone with my girlfriend. Because if we need that type of stimulation, they don't. But if you're going to be married to somebody, you're going to have to try to give me that type of stimulation. I need the stimulation from you. Practice makes perfect. Nobody marriage is perfect. Nobody fix it upper is perfect. But we can just work on it and continues to build. Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall. Woo, woo, woo. Okay. I just wanted to do that. Now I'm finna go. Go to my website. The information on there to download your free love language test. And it is from Will Harley, I think. I got some other books on there too that'll help you in your moving on and growing process. Because we in this till it's over. Make it last forever. Look at you. Don't you come in with no shirt on. Okay. But if you do, ooh. Anyway, let me get this party started. I'm finna get my work day completed. I just wanted to share that with y'all because this is what I was talking to myself about this morning. I love marriage. I don't idolize it, but I love God's sanctity of it. Men, let's get it together. Take your wife from underneath the bed. Take the box off. Try to understand her. Go read me. Thank you. Men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. Period. Bye.